boat. That's a great photo.
Just when you feel like the intrepid traveller, travelling to where no other man has been, you're met with this. That's it. It's like an Aldi on a Wednesday morning, lining up for the specials. Love it. All right. If you are loving the series as well, do hit the thumbs up. Give us a like. Smash the subscribe button. Ow, ow. Right. Let's get on with the show. First of all, update time. The Ultimate Touring Pack giveaway. What is happening?
Oh my gosh, we are so excited about this. It is just the most brilliant bunch of products thrown into this epic prize. The value is over $35,000. And look, we've received some advice that in order to run the giveaway the way we really want to, making it super easy for you to enter, and of course making sure that it is legal and legit and ticking all of those boxes.
So that my dad doesn't win it?
Yeah. We do need to get permits from all of the different states and territories around Australia that require them. So we have done that process. We have most of those permits in. We're waiting.
South Australia. Yes. What's going on?
Yes, we'll get that one through in the next couple of weeks. We can confirm the competition will open on Sunday, the 5th of November. We will include all the details in the YouTube episode on that date, and of course in the lead up to it as well. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You will be 50% of the way entered if you are already subscribed to our channel. It is too easy to enter, and we can't wait to share all of those details with you. So stay tuned.
So good. Yes. We're just pinching ourselves. All right. And whoever wins it is going to pinch himself.
I love all the comments of people saying, I've got to buy a new ute so that I can fit the canopy.
So good. And did we tell you that includes fitment as well now?
So good.
So good. Of the canopy? Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on with it. Okay, we left you last week. We were doing the Jardine River Crossing on the ferry. Now, the footage is amazing, but we probably didn't give enough detail because we've had these questions coming in. Well, did you hit the bottom? Did you hit the back? What happened? So here's some really good tips, okay? And this is based off us meeting other people, actually doing it ourselves. And we were a little bit hesitant. We were even considering not doing it.
Yeah, we were really nervous about it because we had spoken with some other travellers who had said to us, oh, yeah, gosh, that big van of yours, like it's okay to take a camper trailer, but you're towing a pretty big rig, so, maybe you don't want to take it over. And even to the point where that morning we were considering leaving the van and just going on with the 79 series. I'm so glad that we didn't.
So glad.
And I'm so glad that we've done it now because hopefully this information will put your mind at ease as well. So
firstly, as long as you've got a decent amount of clearance on both your vehicles, you won't have a problem. First thing would be to slow down. Take the direction of the locals there because they are spot on. I should have actually slowed down on entry, and I was going slow, but he said to me, slow, but I wasn't quite slow enough, and we did hit the D-shackles and the chains, safety chains, as we went on.
It can be fairly steep getting on and off the ferry, of course, depending on the level of the river, and then also depending on the length of your rigs as well. You're going to have that motion.
Yeah, from the drone footage, even in car, it doesn't look steep at all, but it kind of is. So if you can imagine, as the vehicle flattens out, that's what the problem is there. And same on exit. So we were in for high. I mean, we're in a manual vehicle. Having that much weight, it could be worth putting it into 4 low, particularly on the exit, just so you don't stall it and just crawl off.
Yep.
But it's pretty straightforward.
It
just
is.
Slow down.
Yeah, look, and then if you can, and this is what we did, we put some extra air in our tyres at the back, also in the airbags on both the vehicle and the van. So we raised the clearance up as much as we could.
We would have easily raised both vehicles up another few inches because of having the airbags there. So we cleared it fine. But yeah, some people have taken off their back bumpers, bent chassis. Certainly number plates come off all the time. So anyway, some advice.
We let some people who were behind us go in front of us as we were doing all of that and getting organised. So don't be too stressed. You know, you've probably seen the footage where there's just like hundreds of vehicles lined up. So that would give you plenty of time. For us, it really was just our group and a couple of extra vehicles that were waiting for the ferry. In our instance, we were the only ones on the ferry, obviously, because we're so long, and the staff were just brilliant. The only thing that really hurts about it is the cost, to be honest.
So true. $192.50 if you're towing a big rig, or even a camper trailer. I think it's the same price, and that doesn't matter whether you're going one way or return.
Yeah, and you do have to pay the ferryman
be returning
before you get over
the
other side.
I mean, for what is like maybe a minute ride.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyways, a good learning experience, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and so worth it. And what's really great is that then it's only 48 kilometres from there to Seisia, to Loyalty Beach, where we're staying, and the road is so much better.
In comparison to that 15k getting to the ferry.
Holy crackers, that was the worst of all of it, really. It just shook through us, you know, and we thought, what are we doing, you know? And then when you get on the other side, it really is, you know, it was much easier. Yeah. Okay, so we rocked in then. We all took a breath. What was great with the tag along is we had a private area with a covered camp kitchen area with running water. We were able to have an open fire that was contained, and we did that, had a couple of drinks, and everyone absolutely crashed out, which is great. Yep. There are free roaming horses all the way through here as well, so as you're entering, just be aware of those. Yes,
and we got the chance to talk to some of the staff from the Loyalty Beach campground, and they said to us, we just ask everybody, don't leave anything out, please don't feed the horses, because they're really sneaky and they'll walk through the individual campsites at night looking for anything and everything they can find.
I got some footage of one actually, getting all our bananas. Anyway, left the scraps out, so good lesson. All right, next day, this is what we all came for, getting to the very tip of Australia, the northernmost point on Australia's mainland. We set off at 7 a.m. Good advice from Tony, because as the day and the morning creeps on, you can imagine the numbers just increase rapidly as well, which means there's congestion on the tracks, and then there's nowhere to park, and so that was really great advice. And we actually took what is a really lesser known or fairly unknown track, and it isn't a name of a track that we can give you, but
I have no idea where we were.
No, we were really in convoy, but there were plenty of water crossings. One of them was fairly deep. The brilliance of that is having Tony over there on his UHF radio, and he's directing you where to put your tyres, when to drop in. Some of them were, up to the lights on the front there, and so you can feel like, wow, this is really happening now. But it was awesome, and everyone, of course, is high-fiving. All 9 vehicles all then follow through. The last 15 kilometres is fairly windy, fairly, thick, dense jungle, rainforest.
Yeah, just beautiful. And with that contrast of that deep, rich, orangey red earth, it is just a beautiful, so remote environment.
And going in the morning, all that beautiful sun flare through all the trees, just fantastic. And because it was so early, there was no oncoming traffic, so we all just moseyed on through. 15 minutes later, and we're there. We could all park.
Yeah.
And then we commenced our climb up over the hill. It's a fairly easy to moderate climb, but you would want to have a good enough level of mobility and fitness. But just take your time. The main thing was the wind.
Yeah, it was super windy. I have to say, everyone in our group was great. There was another group also doing it that were travelling together, and there were older people there with like walking sticks, and they still managed fine to get up and over. So I think as long as you've got appropriate footwear, although, I mean, we're in Australia, right? So most of the people were in thongs. You'll be
pluggers,
sweet.
mate.
Yeah.
When we got actually up over the mountain, we could see the sign, and we were met there with 100 people. I thought, man, we have got this timing totally wrong.
That's a great photo.
Just when you feel like the intrepid traveller travelling to where no other man has been, you're met with this. Dead set. It's like Aldi on a Wednesday morning, lining up for the specials. But what actually happened was they were with, I think, ATP Tour. There was 2 bus loads, like those massive tour groups, and they all kind of had finished. They'd done all their selfies, and then they just kind of all went. And you actually do a loop. You don't come back the same way. You sort of go up around the other side of the headland. So, yeah, next minute, half an hour, that's it. Just our group. Yeah. So the timing actually was perfect.
It was, and everybody got to have their, their moment of fame standing there with the sign. I got a special We're like, who the hell is that?
We made it to the top with Tony!
Which, to be honest, probably needs to be replaced with something a little bit nicer, but it was still awesome to be able to stand there, get all the photos. Paulie put the drone up. We got group shots. It was a real sense of achievement, I think, for everybody, because this is part of why you're coming, if not the sole reason, and then to be standing there. And it is so beautiful. I mean, outside of getting your photo with the sign, the environment is just spectacular.
We decided to actually break away from the headland track and then go down into the water because it was low tide. And you'll see from the footage here, Katie's face probably gives it away that she was a little nervous that we are in Croc country.
I wasn't convinced about taking the shoes off and walking back through the water, but to be honest, it was super low tide, so we were literally walking through about that much water on the way back in. But yes, 6 years of working with Steve Owen at Australia Zoo, always on the lookout for crocodiles.
Katie freaks out when we're swimming in the Murray River. So anyway, we made it all back okay, and then it was on for really a very full day of sightseeing and adventure. Our first stop was over to a place infamous, really, known as Somerset Bay. This is such a beautiful location. It is 35 kilometres north of Bamaga. It was established in 1864. It's part of the Gutung language region. I hope I got that right. That's the local Aboriginal people here. And tragic history. I mean, there was a population of around 3,000 Aboriginals that had a very large community here. Once the Jardine family had been positioned there to set up a station here, because it was such a busy shipping route through the Torres Strait, they wanted to make sure that they had some governance up here. Unfortunately, the father, Frank Jardine, he was appointed as the police magistrate. He had a rule which was literally shoot first, ask questions later. That population was completely wiped out. I think there was around 300 Aboriginals left by the end of all of this. It's just horrific and a really dark history. Quite a contrast to how beautiful it is there, you know, and of course now there is a population of 0.
Yeah, it just... incredible history and really worth going to learn about it and really appreciate, you know, what took place here and its location as well. But we stopped, we got all that information from Tony, we wandered around. You can go and see the grave sites of the Jardine family there and wander along the beach as well, which is just beautiful.
Yeah, there's a barbecue area, covered seating area, so it's a really great place for morning tea or a lunch or afternoon tea. Again, walking along that beach, you do have to be very aware. There are some massive crocs up here. There was a gentleman who wasn't in our group, but he just thought, I'll just throw a line in. Well, he landed this huge fish. It's called the blue bastard. Now, if you're an angler and you've heard about the folklore around this fish, it is one of the hardest fish to land. Now, this guy didn't expect to catch anything, so he had nothing to even manage his catch.
I don't even know. He didn't even look like he'd ever thrown a rod in before.
He was so in shock, and luckily Tony knew the species, and the history of this fish is quite remarkable. It's only really been scientifically, I guess, named in the last few years, and it has taken the Latin name on,
Carolinotus,
meaning blue bastard, which is quite good, because I think the reason behind it is because it starts off as a yellow fish with black stripes, and then as it matures and becomes an adult, it goes this beautiful blue. It's one of the most
beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful looking fish, and it's a bastard to land. People don't actually really ever land this fish. So there you go. I don't know what he was doing right, but he didn't know what to do once he landed it. But he got his photo, and it was a release, which was really good. Yeah. All right. After that, it was time to head to the famous Croc Tent. Now, there's plenty of opportunity to get merchandise all the way up through every roadhouse. The advice would be, wait till you get up to the Croc Tent. It's probably a little bit better value. You're still going to need to have your savings in check to purchase stuff here, but it is definitely the best value merch you'll get up here in the tip. Woo! Wouldn't want to meet him in the wild. All right.
Hey, who's that?
Guess where we are, Jasper?
The Croc Tent.
The Croc Tent, the famous Croc Tent. Jasper, do you know what he just said? Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. It ain't no passing craze. Let me have a look.
Look at that one. It's got all the
Can we get this?
Mate, that looks cool.
No, can we get this?
Hang on, one word. No. There we go. That was a good trip. Next.
One word. Yes. Yay!
Yeah, that's good,
We
Katie.
just got to find that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you got plenty of room in that.
Turn around.
how good do you look?
Come on, do some modelling. Walk up and down the catwalk. Yeah, now turn around. Now wiggle it. Okay, washing instructions, Croc Tent. What does it say?
Here we go.
Loud.
Care instructions. Wear near campfires, not in them. Do not use for washing your four-wheel drive. Avoid wearing for more than 3 consecutive days. You will look cool but smell bad. Wash thoroughly after fishing. Crocs love fish. Flavoured fisherman. That's awesome.
Mine doesn't have that, I betcha. Mine has made in China.
Okay, the final location for our day out adventuring was to the Bamaga plane wrecks. These are from World War II. They're known as the Beaufort bombers. They're a DC-3. This was quite amazing to see a plane wreck like this that was still quite intact.
Yeah, remarkable. And even walking along through the bush track to see the pieces that had obviously come off the plane as it was coming in to crash land, it's all still there. As far as an educational school day out, for all of us, let alone Jasper, this day was full of so much interesting information, particularly around World War II, and just realising how close it was. You know, it was on our doorstep, wasn't it?
Look, a lot of this was really unpublished as well. There's plenty of World War II history up here. They were in this plane. No one survived this particular crash, unfortunately, but they were only a few hundred feet short of the runway, so really tragic. But as you walk around, you can get more information online if you really are a history buff around World War II, to find a lot of missing planes. There's all the discarded large barrels, fuel barrels and drums. So, yeah, if you've got a bit more time and that's your thing, then really do some research on that. There's plenty of info out there.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, so then we're back into the vehicles. We're all pretty weary by now. And we are heading back to Loyalty Beach. But we decided to go over to Seisia, as the locals call it, Seisia, to find the little mini mart, I guess. It's really a really great little supermarket.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic. It's got everything you need. I was surprised at the size of it. Beautiful fresh produce there as well. We picked up a massive bunch of bananas so that we could do our koala split special dessert on the campfire for everybody, which went down a treat that night. But yeah, really great if you need to pick anything up just down the road really from Loyalty Beach.
Yeah, they've got huge fridges, huge frozen section, different meats, and as you said, plenty of produce. It's perfect. If you've forgotten anything, they'll probably have it.
Yeah.
All right, it is back to camp. We are sitting around to toast my birthday this night and have our famous koala split. Now, if you want the recipe for that, it's pretty straightforward, but we will include that in this week's e-news every single week, straight to your inbox. You can get our e-news. We'll never spam you. It has everything that has been happening with us, including the episodes, our weekly podcast, blogs, and recipes, and it's free. Just visit our website. It's thefeelgoodfamily.com, and you'll be able to join our community.
Awesome.
All right, I think it's time to get on with the show. Tomorrow it is huge. Thursday Island in the Torres Strait Islands.
Amazing.
Wow. How's it looking, Jasper?
Pretty good. I think she'd be ready.
In 5 minutes, right?
5 minutes. All right.
Thursday Island on a Tuesday. How good is this? So excited about heading out to Thursday Island. It's one of those places that you hear about, you see about Torres Strait Island, the culture up there, the people, those big smiles. So we're so excited about actually getting over there to not only check out the island, learn a little bit more about their history and their culture, and then we're going to have one of the best pub meals that you can have at what is known as the northernmost pub in Australia.
Awesome. And no corrugations.
Yes, no driving. Getting picked up here. I think this is called Loyalty Park, isn't it? Loyalty Beach Caravan Park. We checked out a few of the others. This is the pic.
Oh, it's so beautiful. And we're not directly on the beach, but we've certainly got little glimpses, especially as the sun goes down of an afternoon. But there's so many sites for camper trailers, tents, swags, those smaller rigs right on the beach.
And then scattered along throughout the campground, it's a very long beach, little amenity blocks. Some are newer than others. Some of them have washing facilities, so you can get your clothes washed and maybe get a little bit of the red out of them.
Yeah. I think new wardrobes really is going to be the go when we get
New wardrobes, mate. You'll need a clothes sponsor if that's happening. But no, really well managed, well maintained. We're now heading down to the kiosk. That's the main area there's a little cafe there. You can get a bite to eat as well, and soft drinks. I don't believe it's licensed, but you can book your tours from there as well. So that's where we're headed. It's going to be a ripper a day. It's a full day experience. So really looking forward to it, and talk about picking the weather days. It is absolutely perfect today.
Yes, let's hope that wind is nice and calm for us.
That's right. Thursday Island on a Tuesday. Here we go.
I'm in sequence. Mom's feet.
Oh, you're in sequence.
Yeah,
Right.
we're in sync, baby.
Tony, our fearless tour guide.
Fearless.
Yeah.
Go.
What are you thinking, Jasper? Where are you going to sit, mate? You're going to drive?
No.
You can drive. The man said you can drive.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
You're-
Right in. Watch your head. No, just right in. Mum's going to,
And Katie's better angles.
One in the back here. No, just the two of us. Sweet.
Awesome. Thank you. Jasper, you hold that. Thursday Island. What an awesome day we have had. Just over for the day, but this is truly an island paradise.
Oh my gosh, it is so stunning, and true to the images that you see, that watercolour being so turquoise and blue. What an amazing place to come for a day and learn not only about the history but the incredible culture that is here on this island.
All right, let's take you back to the start. We jumped on our Super Cat. It must hold close to 100 packs, 80 to 100 guests, I would say. We got our private little deck area upstairs, air conditioned, right behind the skipper's quarters, and what is really a fairly easy boat journey across through the dotted islands, the absolute palm-fringed paradise escapes that you just wish that you could visit all of them. What's great is that there's a full video commentary on the way over that talks to the history, also the culture, the people, everything that you want to know about the island before you get here.
Yeah, that was really fantastic and a great introduction to what we were going to expect when we got off on the island. What was great is that we had about an hour to ourselves before we were booked on a bus tour to be able to really casually meander up to the main street. Some of us stopped for a coffee. We decided to go for a bit of a wander. We've been tipped off that some of the churches were well worth a visit, and that was great to get down, take Jasper into that beautiful church, see all of the beautiful LED light stained glass windows, and just have a bit of an explore through town.
Really fantastic. We grabbed ourselves a quick coffee and a toasted sandwich, which was good, and then we were onto our bus tour with the fabulous host, Christine, born and bred here on the island. Her local knowledge about the history and the culture is second to none. This tour is about an hour and a half with about 45 minutes of stops, with the first stop being really, I think, the main attraction, and that is up to the fort.
Oh yes, Green Hill Fort. What a fascinating location to be able to walk around. The museum there was world class, I think, in what they've done in terms of interpretive images and artefacts and memorabilia from days gone by, and of course perched up on the hill with that breathtaking view out over the turquoise waters. Amazing.
From there, we then did what Christine referred to as the hot lap.
Yes.
I mean, you can walk around this island. There's a walking track. It's called the 10,000 Steps.
Yeah, get your watch ready, and
that'd be a great way to do it. Our recommendation would be do it when you first get here, earlier in the day when it's not so hot. It'd be a great way to really take in all the community as well. What is it?
Tamarind. Have you ever had one?
A tamarind?
Yeah.
This is a tamarind tree?
Yeah.
Wow.
You just suck the stuff off. It's got a hard seed inside.
So you just suck the stuff off that?
Suck that brown stuff off, yeah.
Mmm.
thank you. That's interesting. It's a bit like a prune,
Yep.
a bit like a date, but
I'll try a bit that.
holy tangy.
It's good, mate.
The
No,
world cooks with this. When you see tamarind things, that's where it's come from, this tree.
that is cool. Thank you. Well, we were then off to the cemetery. This is where you can see the gravestone of the designer behind the Torres Strait Island flag, and also a wonderful dedication memorial to the pearling industry, the Japanese pearlers. So many of them, similar to what we found over there in Broome and also in Darwin, lost their lives pearling. So there's a great memorial there that you can visit as well. And then we were dropped off at the pub. What a great end to the day.
It was, and not just any pub, it is the northernmost pub of Australia. So to be able to sit down and have some lunch and a beverage and tick that one off the bucket list.
Look, it'd be un-Australian if you didn't do it, right?
Yeah,
Go and have a
exactly.
beer at the pub. Really fantastic experience. And then we got to really mosey our way back down past the Culture Centre. That'd be another highlight. If you had a little bit more time, visit the Culture Centre. Again, just to learn about this rich culture that's really different to our other Australian cultures, because all of their storytelling is around music and song and dance, and so their culture is really beautifully presented. So that would be worth a visit as well.
Yeah, absolutely. For next time.
All right, we will be back Thursday Island. Next time, not on Tuesday. We might try and come on a Thursday. All right, let's do it. Thursday Island. I'd love to spend a week or two there.
I think so.
Especially getting over to some of the other islands as well. You can fly in, actually.
That sounds like the way to do it.
Save the corrugations. All right, start saving your money. Now, we are going to have a quick chat about the van and how it is held up in the Cape, because it's been outstanding, but we're going to give you that in a second. But stay tuned for next week, because some of the best highlights of our trip, Elliot Falls, Fruit Bat Falls, we're making our way south. Every corrugation we go over is one closer to getting back to Richmond, so that should be good. Favourite thing? Pulling over, having a cup of tea on the side of the road.
That's so good. It's one of the perks of having your home behind you always, isn't it? We just absolutely love it.
Oh my God, tell everyone the story about you leaving the tea at Musgrave.
True story. Okay, so we often stop for a cup of tea and I whipped us one up, and then, it's always have we got everything? Have I closed all of the cupboards? Are all the lights off? Is the induction off? Is the windows closed? Grabbing things to get all the bodies back in the car. And we did that, and off we set. And I said to Paul, where's my cup of tea? And he's sweeting away on his. And then it just hit me, and I said to him, oh no, I bet it's on the kitchen bench inside the van.
We couldn't pull over because
we couldn't.
It was
there was nowhere.
Well, it was corrugation central. I mean, it's just crazy trying to drive through that range.
It just wasn't going to happen. So I knew for at least 100 kilometres, and I just was dreading, thinking, oh my God, I'm going to open the caravan door and there's just going to be tea everywhere. Well, we pulled up and I came in the caravan, and here's my cup of tea in this Yeti cup with the lid on, of course, sitting on the kitchen bench. It had not moved. So that's actually a really good segue, because we wanted to just talk about how awesome the van has been. We were pretty nervous about the Cape as a whole. I definitely wasn't I, Paulie? Flipped out about heading up the Cape. The reason was because everybody that we spoke to, who we said, oh yeah, we're taking the van all the way to the top, said to us, what? You're taking the van all the way to the top? Aren't you going to leave it at one of the roadhouses and just go up in the four-wheel drive?
Well, it's pretty good, because Han River's your very first place that you've just let your tyre pressures down. You can leave your van there.
Yeah.
Musgrave, you can leave it there.
Yeah,
Archer River, Weipa.
Anywhere, everywhere.
I think because as you're going, it's getting worse and worse, the roads, and so you're getting all of these little, sure you don't want to leave it? You sure you don't want to leave it?
Exactly. Well, I was so nervous about it because, well, one, we've never been before, so we didn't really know what to expect. And the reaction from most people saying, oh, you're taking your van, all right, be careful. I thought, oh my God, what's going to happen? So we just wanted to give the van a shout out because it has been amazing. Now, obviously, it's built to be an off-road van. That's what the Zone RV vans are. But it has just been awesome, hasn't it, Paul? And so much so, we wanted to capture all of those, I guess, all of that footage that make the van so awesome. And so we stuck GoPros all over it while we were driving on the, it's 850-ish kilometres.
Oh, from Cooktown up to the very tippity top, up to Seisia.
Yep.
It is 850 k's.
There you go. So at least half of
Easily half is corrugation. Unseals.
And, some good dirt roads, some absolute terrible sections where you get out and your teeth are chattering because the corrugations are so bad. So we put GoPros all over the van to really capture, well, how does it work and how is the van responding to these off-road conditions? These roads would have to be, without a doubt, like the worst off-road roads we've travelled on in our 4 years.
Oh, easily. We haven't done a lot. So to throw ourselves in this sort of deep end for this sort of touring was brilliant.
But so it was so cool to see the suspension working and doing what it's supposed to do, obviously.
I think first line of defence is getting your tyre pressures right.
Yeah, for sure.
So luckily Tony could give us some really great advice there. But for our van and weight, our setup, we dropped 25 PSI.
25, all round.
So that's already there. And then the suspension.
Oh, just doing its thing and just watching how it moves. And then we were like, right, what does the inside of the van look like? So we put a GoPro up, and Paul will be overlaying all of this footage to see that nothing on the inside of the van moves. I mean, I think the one thing that moved the most was the tag on the fire extinguisher. And, you know, we've been tipped off from some other zoners to lower the telescopic table right down to reduce the impact of that. And obviously we packed drawers and cupboards in certain ways just to make sure that there was not going to be any carnage in any of the cupboards, but nothing moved, and we were just so impressed by that. And I think obviously, well, one, it's having a van that's manufactured to handle those conditions, which is what the Zone RV vans are made for, off-roading. As you said, Paul, getting your tyre pressures right, having that suspension to support that, packing your van the way it really should be packed to minimise any damage, and then having a van that's built with that structural integrity.
Oh, definitely. I think there's, you know, like a bit of an industry trade secret here, but they're building the vans from the inside out. So
don't tell anyone.
That exactly what you said. That structural integrity is really key to why these vans are so
and this
bloody
composite material, I mean, I bang on about it all the time in terms of how awesome it is to have this as the internal walls and ceiling of the van from a cleaning point of view, and keeping things just neat and tidy and easy just to clean marks and things off. But this is so strong, lightweight and strong, so I mean, I think it all just works together. And the van has been amazing, so we are so stoked with it, aren't we?
So good.
Yay for not having to clean up spilt tea or, you know, red dirt or anything, you know, things that have fallen out of the fridge and spilt everywhere. So awesome. We're so happy about it.
Love it.
And cups of tea on the bench. Not that we'd recommend you leave your cup of tea on the bench, but
that is unreal.
it's a pretty good story, hey?
Yeah. Righto. Pack up. Jasperoni, are you good?
Put milk in there, put the honey away, and we should get on the road again.
Yeah, here we come. More roads.
Here you come.
Thanks for watching. Please do like, subscribe and share our channel. And if you'd like more information on full-time RV travel and living, visit our website, thefeelgoodfamily.com. There you'll find loads of free resources, our weekly podcast, caravan cooking recipes, our monthly Go RV magazine articles and much more. We look forward to seeing you next week. Take care of yourself and your family, and happy trails. Okay, do you want to use the bathroom before we go?
No, I'd rather do a bush walk, to be honest. This was easier than going up on the roof live.
Are you actually sticking your head through the hatch there, Katie?
Hello! And I'm standing on my t-shirt from yesterday because my feet are so filthy that I didn't want to put them on the bed. Bye.
Good job. See you, Dickie Nee.
To the tip of Australia!
Jasper, looks what's coming up.
What?
Look at the ocean ahead of you.
OMG.